amazing coincidence running into you accidentally like that. Especially as we had parted forever 3 months ago.
You know it wasn't a coincidence.
If I didn't, you telephone if you wanted to see me.
I was afraid you might be in. I didn't really want to see you, Clayton.
So you came straight to my hotel? You're broke, aren't you?
I'm not.
Your show closed in New Orleans after 12 weeks of bad business in the South.
With me, every payday is Christmas Eve. I tucked something into my stocking.
Something besides the prettiest legs I've ever seen. Proposition.
I came because I was blue and tired and a little lonesome. And something else that I'm going to tell you about later.
Please reconsider. It's almost ridiculous the way I love you.
Not ridiculous.
The apartment's still waiting for you. Everything the way you want it, on a roof, overlooking the river and Long Island. Quiet and far away. No more work. No more shows that go on the road. No more midnight trains. Good coffee. Peace and a personal maid. Not to mention me.
And the name on the door would be?
Your own name.
Why not Mr. and Mrs. John Smith? They use that a lot, I believe.
Oh, Claire.
Wouldn't ever be Mr. and Mrs. Clayton Saville, would it?
How naive and old-fashioned.
Well, I happen to think that that's important. And any woman who says she doesn't is lying.
Change the subject. Are you afraid to discuss it anymore?
Of course not.
Sit down then.
Why, certainly.
So you're still unable to consider any prospect of life without the old ring and the minister and here comes the bride and all the rest of the mid-Victorian twaddle.
Them the gentlemen.
How many people do you know who are happily married?
Plenty.
For instance?
Oh, I could name plenty.
You've answered me.
Don't be idiotic. There are men in the world who are happily married.
Usually for the third time.
And some people stay married.
The human race has many bad habits which it lacks the courage to break.
In spite of all your epigrams, I still insist that intelligent people are marrying.
Poor fools. They realize the dangers ahead, but close their eyes and smugly tell each other, it won't happen to us. We're different.
How can you be so bitter, so hard and cynical?
I'm bitter because I love you. Hard because I am determined not to be too unhappy. Cynical because I realize the chances are against it.
You don't know what love is.
Oh, yes, I do. All my arguments against marriage are arguments in favor of love.
I know your next line. I've heard it before. Marriage destroys love.
Right?
Marriage means possession. A possession which is fatal to romance.
Right?
Nothing that you own is as perfect as when you wanted it.
You're quite right.
Which of us would depreciate so horribly, you or me?
Both of us.
Oh,
The institution of marriage is outdated because it was designed for different circumstances of life and conduct than those under which we live today. Now, you think that's all theory, don't you? But for years I've been watching men and women I like wreck their lives in this silly business of marriage. Do you remember Buddy Harriman? Shot himself 6 months after his wedding day. And Johnny Barker. Do you remember when he was so crazy about that girl that he couldn't see straight?
aren't you choosing a few unfortunate examples?
Now, ask yourself this question. How many people do you know who would do it again if they had their lives to live over? Now, come on. Tell me just one woman you know who hasn't said it in those very words.
I'd rather concede that you'd won your messy point. Sore point with you, isn't it?
Why not? When I see stupid tradition robbing me of what I want most in the world.
What you want most in the world?
I do love you, Claire. I'll make you happy if you'll only give me the chance. You know in your heart you love me too, or you'd never have come here tonight.
Don't say any more. I have something to tell you. I'm going to be married.
I don't believe it. You're just saying that to prevent yourself admitting that you love me.
It's true. I'm to be married tomorrow.
Tell me all about it.
Going to marry a boy I went to school with.
You're going back to Texas?
Not right away. He gets here tomorrow.
How did this all happen so suddenly?
It isn't sudden. We've been boy and girl sweethearts ever since I can remember. When I left home to go on the stage, he asked me to marry him. I had these huge ambitions. They've all gone to pot. He was very fine about it. He told me how much he loved me, and that he always would. If I ever wanted to give up the stage and come back home, he'd be waiting.
And you wired him?
Last week. I got tired of everything. I told him I was coming home.
I see. And he, impetuous young lover, leaped on the crane and is flying to your feet.
He'll stand on his own feet in any company. He's made a real place for himself.
Don't tell me he's the mayor of the town.
Well, he's district attorney of his county. And he's one of the coming men of his state.
Well, isn't that splendid?
He gets here tomorrow. We're going to be married right away. That's all.
That isn't all. You haven't mentioned that you love this man you're going to marry.
I do love him.
No, you don't. You love me.
I did love you. Oh, I hate myself when I think that I came here tonight, half hoping that you loved me enough to forget your modern theories. And you're only covering up your own selfishness.
All right, I'm selfish. I'll love you all my life. But I won't put your head and mine into a noose that would tighten and choke us as soon as we found that we were together because we had to be.
Very well, then. That settles it. I'm going home.
Yeah. Please don't throw your life away.
You mean don't throw it away on him, throw it away on you.
If you put your arms round me and kissed me, you couldn't go.
Yes, I could.
Are you going to marry another man?
Yes.
You can't. You know you love me.
I fought this world a long time. Now I want someone else to do the fighting for me. Someone, my husband. You won't be that. So I'm marrying a man who adores me. I'm running away from the doubt and uncertainty and the problems of a woman who isn't found.
You can't love me and talk like that. Don't go yet, please.
It's much better that I go. We'll only argue and make ourselves very unhappy.
Oh, I'll be good. I won't mention the matter again.
Sure.
Promise.
There are 2 or 3 little things I'd like to talk to you about anyway. We're like a couple of children saying goodbye for the first time.
Won't you let me take you home?
No.
At least let me come down to the door with you.
I've gotten through these 3 farewells. I won't risk a 4th. Goodbye, Tex.
get mine?
Well, I'm here, and I done.
Martin!
Well, Jim, how are you?
Oh, I am great. How could I help but be?
They are anyway.
Don't you know Saunders? Claire, I want you to meet Martin Saunders. He's one of the biggest attorneys in New York.
How do you do?
Martin was down in Texas last year. We did some great fishing, didn't we?
Indeed we did, Jim.
Claire's a Texas girl, Martin. We're sure proud of her down there.
We're quite proud of her here in New York, too.
Say, you two living in New York and you don't know each other?
Well, there are 3 or 4 people in New York I haven't met.
This isn't Texas, you know, Jim.
Here's your pay. Oh, bring him into the lunchroom. I've got to get my breakfast. How about it, you two? Hungry?
I'm
Well, I've had coffee.
Well, have some more. Where is the lunchroom?
Nonsense. Now, you two are coming to my apartment. It's only around the corner on Park Avenue.
Why, sure, that's great. Come on, Porter. You know, down our way, it's not considered fashionable to live so close to the depot.
But now what's the procedure?
To get married at once.
Jim, not today.
I've waited a long time for you to make up your mind, honey. I'm not going to let you change it now.
But I'll have to buy a dress. A wedding dress.
Well, all right. I'll spare you a half hour for that one dress. Then Martin will take charge of it.
Well, let me see. I have it. Suppose we say 12 o'clock at the City Hall for the license. Then the wedding ceremony. After that, luncheon. Well, it'll be dinner time by then. And then dinner right here in my apartment. Champagne, rice, and everything that goes with it. What do you say? How does it sound? Eh?
Sounds great to me. What do you say, honey?
All right.
Oh, what is the newest and smartest hotel in town where the bridegroom can get into his best clothes?
Oh, don't worry about that. I reserved a room for you at the Park Plaza.
Is it the nicest?
It's the best. And the best is none too good on an occasion like this.
Hey, Mr. Smith.
Look here, I'm heading to Europe in the morning. Do you make out my bill for